The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Dieter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. And we have got something going on. I shouldn't say we, although I will be in attendance, but Lieutenant Colonel retired David Trogdon and Brenda Grimm, rescue driver extraordinaire, have a function coming up real quickly, second annual. So why don't you start, Brenda, and let us know what's going on, because it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. This, like you said, this is our second annual Kentucky Derby party, and what it does is it benefits the Hope Project, and we have the expert on the Hope Project here with us.
I don't know
tell
about
us all
that.
about it. David actually founded the Hope Project 2 years ago also, and then we came up with this. All proceeds go to the Hope Project. What it is he brings the horses out. We just make a huge benefit out of it. It's open to the public. Just a lot of fun,
Absolutely a lot of fun. Now, Kentucky Derby going to be held at Sherman Avenue, VFW Post 2185, and 5 May, the 5th of May?
May 5th.
What time's it starting again?
2 to 6.
2 to 6. And you, sir, are going to be bringing some horses?
We will.
Are you bringing the Kissing Bandit by any chance?
No, we're not. No. We'll be bringing most likely one of our mini horses named Helen, and probably Bo. And Bo is a paint, beautiful brown and white horse with a blue eye and a brown eye, and he is a retired barrel racer.
A barrel racer.
Yeah, and just great horses and work really well with therapy as well.
Yeah, good deal. So Helen is the mini?
Is the mini.
So the kids are going to enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
Because this is family fun and family oriented. So bring your kids out. Come on out. See these horses from the Hope Project, which is located on
Highway 20, in between 77 and 231. We're 4.5 miles west of 231 and 11 miles east of 77.
I clocked it at 10, but I might have clocked it wrong.
Well, you were probably driving faster.
Probably, and I was. Yeah. Good one. That was good. And there is a sign out there, so you can't miss it.
Yep.
Turn into the driveway. What do you think? Not even a quarter mile
No.
to get back there? Yeah. Easy, accessible. So tell us how much of a success last year was.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm thinking this is going to be even bigger than that, and it was big.
It was big. It was big last year, and I think we only did it for 3 hours then last year. And what I do is I set the whole post up as a casino. Of course, all proceeds go to the Hope Project, so everything's controlled, but a lot of fun. There's a lot of tables, a lot of games to play, but I also have things for the kids outside, face painting, and it's our veterans that are actually stepping up to do this.
Yep.
So it's pretty much veterans helping veterans. All the VSOs here in Bay County had gotten together and donated, and I just got another basket last night from somebody who's a member of the AMVETS. So it's just neat to see everybody come together and do this for one special cause.
Right, and we all support all the posts, When we can, we go to here, to there, to everywhere. Legion, American Legion, VFWs, AMVETS, and when we can, we get out to see David Trogdon, and I need to get back up there.
Yes, you do.
It's been a good 3 or 4 months since I've been up there.
And the horses miss you.
I'm sure they do, because
Kissing Bandit.
I've been known to be a part of a horse that some people have said I was.
The north end or south end?
Well, it would be southerly. So, in any event, tell us, so for the people that don't know, what your impetus was, and what was it that was laid on your heart to start this, other than the obvious of veterans helping veterans with problems. But tell us about your journey in these first 2 years.
Well, we've journeyed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A little over 2 years ago, I was medically retired from the Army after 25 years active, with 3 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, with TBIs and PTSD and all the other stuff. And it was a real hard transition to go from the military to more of a civilian life, although I'll never be a civilian. And I had 2 great friends, Kelly and Ryan, who started rescuing horses from kill pens.
Yep.
And so we got together and figured to do something that would help not only horses, but also veterans. And so we founded the HOPE Project. And HOPE is an acronym, because military, we love acronyms.
Absolutely.
And it stands for Healing Our Patriots with Equines. And we started reaching out primarily to vets and first responders and their families, but also children. We've been having a lot of fun with some children. And we provide everything from just hanging out with the horses to actually certified to use the horses to do equine-assisted psychotherapy. And really that's just a fancy word for, instead of going into a counselor's office and talking about your PTSD or whatever the issue may be, we would take you into an arena with 4 horses, and horses are amazing. And believe me, a couple of years ago, I didn't even like horses. But they read your facial expressions and your body language, and they feel your emotions because they're so emotional. And we give you a task to do involving the horses and watch the interaction and then ask you questions about your experience with the horses. And what happens is, it's really a blessing that you end up being your own counselor, and the horse works with you on your issues. But we're far more than that, because most who come out, don't do that. But what we want to do is we want to build relationships.
Yeah.
Because what motivates us is the 22 vets a day that commit suicide. And that's devastating to everyone.
Yeah.
And so my personal philosophy is that, the greatest help for someone who's struggling, including PTSD, is positive relationships. And so we want to build relationships with horses, with other vets and other family members, and as an Army chaplain used to be, if they're interested, try to strengthen their relationship with God.
Sure.
And we're growing, and I can't thank Brenda and the VFW and all of our VSOs, because we are growing, but that first year and a half, we wouldn't have survived without groups like the VFW and the Legion and the AMVETS and the auxiliaries and
don't forget your favorite steak place.
Yes, Texas Roadhouse and Culver's and Toyota Panama City and Surf Pro. They just led the Mud Run, the 5K.
5K.
And that was a blessing not only to us but to 4 other great local Bay County charities. And everything we do is free. And none of our board, especially myself, none of us take a salary or a penny. Everything goes to taking care of the horses and, actually reaching out.
Yeah.
And so,
correct me now, but taking care of horses is not an inexpensive thing to do. And last we spoke, and I heard your feed was like $1,000 or more.
Well,
is it still in that same area?
Right now
per month.
Right now we're at 7 horses, and we're may find another mini or a mini donkey that we can take in the Sims VA nursing home. And hopefully, I got to talk to Sims, about taking them room to room. But, our feed, let's see, about $318 in feed a month. And then, we get a case, a pallet of feed is about 40 bags of feed. We have a discount at $318, and that lasts us over a month. But then rolls of hay, we go through, probably about a roll and a half of hay a week, and that's $55 to $60 a roll. And so that's our feed. But we also have, we may have some vet costs,
vet bill, sure.
And then they all get pedicures every 6 weeks.
Man, I don't even get that.
So horses are high maintenance, and but they're worth every penny, because I've done all the behavioral health stuff with the Army, and I'm part of PTSD group here locally, and but I take my crazy pills, as I call them, but nothing works like horses. And again, those positive relationships. So it's been a real blessing.
Well, I want to ask one more question. Excuse me. Have you had any children come out that were having issues with bullying? Because that's a big issue these days.
Not yet that I know of. I mean, we've had kids come out. We've had kids with autism come out. And even last Saturday, we were part of a Tyndall EFMP Family Day for the kids with disabilities and their families. And we had 90 airman family members, including the children, come out. And it was a great day.
That's
and
fabulous.
Mid-South
90
Lumber
plus.
and Shannon Scott from Tyndall. It was, we worked together with them and the MWR there, and it was a great day. And a number of the children had autism, and one little girl, I think, had cancer, and her child, and another little girl had open heart surgery, and and they got to paint on horses and do a little bit of everything, including some riding. And so horses love kids, and especially ours. And you can't come out to where we're at without falling in love with the horses too.
That's true. Now, if you will, because you mentioned this to me, or else I dreamed it, but I'm pretty sure you mentioned it to me.
In a dream?
Not that my memory's that good. Tell me the story about the little girl that had the open heart and what she did.
I was
Fabulous.
so blessed. We had Tomahawk out there, beautiful white and black paint, and we were doing we had some sidewalk chalk, and we had some washable markers, and so she took a little red washable marker, and she must have been like 7 or 8 years old. She was a tiny little girl. And so she came out and she drew a heart, colored it in red very meticulously, taking her time. Then she drew a purple heart around it and colored it in, and she was proud of it. And Mama was there, and I asked her, similar to what we would do in therapy,
Sure.
Okay, why did you color a heart? And she said, because hearts represent love, and I love heart. And then I found out that she had open heart surgery and had a large scar, on her chest, and I was very humbled. But the horses stood there perfectly, and so they had a great time with the horse. And quite a few of them are going to be coming out to the Hope Project for some more, especially some of the kids with autism.
Yeah,
we've had great success with that, as well as obviously vets with PTSD, and working more now, getting some doors open with our first responders. Some EMTs, and talked to a police officer that's supposed to come out with his little boy. And so we've been growing, we've been busy.
Good.
And last month we reached 189 vets and family members and some others, and this month we're probably going to go over 200.
Fabulous.
And that includes PTSD seminars where I go out, and counseling. We do a lot of counseling, and coming out for our open houses on Sunday afternoons and hanging out with each other and the horses.
Oh yeah, and that was fun. I did that once, but that was really fun too.
Now you just got a house too.
We have a 5-year lease where we're at, and we have the Hope House, which is furnished by our Crazy Wives group, and they're a PTSD group whose husbands primarily Vietnam vets with PTSD, and did a great job. And the house is set up for especially vets, family members from outside the area to be able to stay a day or two to have some horse time. And in fact, near future, we're looking at doing some weekend retreats, overnights for groups. And
There's a spot for you, Cary.
That would be good.
And so
I could pitch a tent.
we have the house there, which is 2-bedroom, but we're also going to be bringing in some campers, and have some groups already very interested in doing that. And I want to reach out to some of the military posts and bases in the area.
Good idea. Great
to
idea.
have some weekend retreats.
Well, I love the story about the little girl painting on the horses, and wow.
I mean, that's that. When I met David, I thought, this was just a great program, and I just saw a lot of good coming out of it. So that's when I came up with the Kentucky Derby, and with the help of everybody, we were just pulled off a great fun day. So we have food, and the games, and the horses, of course, will be there, and it's great. I just hope everybody can come out and bring their family.
Did I hear you say food?
There'll be food.
Food,
And
yes.
I'll be there.
It's a Derby treat tray, so it's kind of all the stuff that you're going to see at the Derby, and hors d'oeuvres, and a whole tray.
cool.
You get a whole tray.
Wow.
So it's a lot of fun. And then the prizes. I mean, I have just amazing prizes. And in our poop coop, remember the poop coop?
Oh,
Yeah, and it's with a duck, but you got to come out and see it because that's a good one.
yeah. So you got to see that one, the poop coop.
The poop coop.
But Brenda, all kidding aside, this young lady comes up with some of the fabulous ideas to put on things, and I'm thinking,
she's amazing.
What does she do? Lay awake at night to think of this stuff?
Yes, she probably does.
Probably, but she puts it together, and I mean, it always works.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
And she does like to have fun, so yeah. Well, we appreciate what you're doing, and if you need any help on this particular day, ask my wife.
I remember.
You know I'd help. You know I'd help you.
I'll see your wife Tuesday.
Absolutely. Yeah, she'll be doing karaoke the next time you see her, maybe, and I won't. So, for obvious reasons.
Now, remember the Sherman VFW, where this is going to be at too, is hosting their 75th anniversary pretty soon.
Correct, and that's May 19th.
May 19th, yes.
And I believe we're running from 12 till 7. Is that right? 6.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
12.
With entertainment.
6 or 7 or 8. If you're staying,
Everything,
we're staying. So.
So it's
Come on out right on Sherman
it'll be a
Avenue.
busy month.
Oldest post in Bay County, and from what I understand, they started in Lynn Haven right after the Spanish-American War or during it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to make a trip up to Lynn Haven. I spoke to the mayor several days ago about talking to their historical society to see if I can get a little more information for Jason and Jamie.
I think they dug a lot of that up.
Yeah, I know they've done a lot of research, but if they have an actual department, I want to go up there because I'd like to see it too.
Now, were you in the
really
Spanish-American War? I was a chaplain there.
I preceded that one with the Knights Templar. No. Anyway. Thanks, David. I think he's telling me I need a facelift and a new voice.
I just
But
want to
that's
be a
okay,
blessing.
brother. I love you.
Just want to be a blessing.
You are a blessing. Yeah, he blesses me out every time he sees me.
Every time.
But hey, I love him, so it's all good. But in any event, now, I see my blinky thing blinking, so that means I got to do something else. What are your plans going forward? Now, I heard you mention first responders and the police officers.
Right.
Do you have any curriculum plans?
Yes.
Or building plans? Share that with you.
Well, we're actually starting to write a book. And because my background being a chaplain and, honestly, my faith and especially my family, my grandsons are the reason I'm alive. Because where there's God, there's always hope and help. And we're writing in the process, just getting started, of writing a book / weekly study that we're going to use with a support group. I don't know if I want to call it a support group, but a group called Faith for the Fight. And we're going to be using a lot of scripture, but primarily the life of David and his battle with Goliath and some of his battles and events afterwards, because I'm convinced that David may have had PTSD. And because you see survivor's guilt, I believe he was kind of self-medicating with his sin with Bathsheba. And that chapter starts off with in the springtime.
That can be a drug as well.
Oh, yeah. In the springtime, when the kings go out to war, David stayed in Jerusalem. And that's how that whole story starts. And
interesting take. I would have never thought of that.
Well, my belief is that there's nothing in the Bible that isn't there for a reason. And
Makes sense.
But David had his battle buddies, his men. He, had definitely survivor's guilt and some other issues. And so what we want to do is use the Bible as well as our discussion and a lot of questions about, living our new normal. And, PTSD is not a disorder, even though the D stands for disorder.
I don't like the D.
It's a normal response to trauma to the soul. And so being able to, as combat vets and family members of combat vets, being able to understand more about our life and more about PTSD, and then be able to have a biblical background there that it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Even when you were in the Spanish-American War.
Yeah, even way back then. but you realize what you've just done, right? Now you've triggered me to reread David. So
his life and look at it from, plenty of soldiers throughout the Bible. Yeah. And a number of them are listed in the roll call of the heroes of faith. But that's one thing we're looking at doing here in the near future, and expanding to do some weekend retreats for vets, for first responders, maybe do a father, son, whatever family camp out using the horses and some things we have in the area. Continuing to grow and getting better, at what we do. It's a learning process. I've never done anything like this before.
Well,
and so
you stepped out on faith, didn't you?
Me either. I've never done anything like this.
Exactly. It's never stopped us before. So
Yeah, I know. When she first told me she's studying criminology and forensics, and then she threw in, and it's underwater. I'm like, what?
yeah.
How do you take fingerprints underwater?
Yeah.
But anyway, they can weld underwater. I guess they can take fingerprints.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Don't want to know how. So, but all I can tell you is you got to keep on keeping on. But you know that. I know you know that.
And we have a great core group of volunteers and board members who just work so hard. And it amazes me, honestly. What Brenda does amazes me, and then what our volunteers do, and Texas Roadhouse, Paul and Helen. But we have people that work just about every day, and at least 2 or 3 of them don't have the connection with the military, but they still have a passion.
Yeah.
They work with the horses, because I'm not a horse person.
You are now, brother.
I'm learning.
You definitely are now.
I'm learning, but we've been very blessed.
You could be north, I'll be south still. How about that? There you go.
But people have been so good, and that's always an amazing blessing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just think it's more than fabulous what you're doing. Now, I guess, and this is a pure guess, that you probably have something rolling around and rattling around in your brain for the next kind of event that may be hatching.
But Buddy says I gotta learn to settle down for a little bit.
Well, that's not going to happen. I already told Buddy now she ain't going to happen. She's 90 mile an hour.
I do. I
You
do.
just did the Dress for Less
I did.
event. Screaming success. Going to be even bigger next year.
And I can use any dry cleaners that want to help out.
Yeah, I'm still on that task, but don't give up on me yet.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes me a little while to get things done, but like quick mention, the Cat 5 cable that I heard somebody needs to install, blah, blah, blah. Well, I got a line on some for the municipal low price of FREE.
There you go.
I like that word.
Or you could say DONATION, donation. That's all I can spell. But in any event, so hopefully we're going to make that happen, and then the need will be filled.
Yeah.
So, but you're a dynamo.
Well, thank
Yep,
you.
you
And everybody who helps out and what you came up with, and it's just, but it's fun too, just to get together and now you everybody goes through, that goes through the PTSD and everything, but now you've created a family thing that everybody can be involved in.
You work hard,
And
then you
learn.
can play hard.
Well, and all of our veterans organizations are families,
Absolutely.
and they are support groups.
Yep.
And and like you, I'm a member of just about all of them. Hard to keep up with meeting nights and stuff. But I know what a blessing they've been to me personally, just having that family and that connection with the military. And so events like this, it just grows the family and brings us closer so we can help each other out when we have the hard times.
Well, I probably shouldn't bring this up, but I'm about to take my first little hiatus from Military Hour until today's the last one, until
Was it something
September.
I said?
It's your breath, brother. It's just your breath.
Okay, well,
But,
I'm all right with that. I smell like a
yeah,
horse.
me too. Yeah. But anyway, until September, at which time we're going to start back again. So this is going to give me time, because it's been, 4 years, and
Wow.
I haven't really taken a break. And that's fine, because I love doing it, getting word out to the community, because it's
Thank
not
you.
about me at all, period. It's about our veteran community, first responders, police. Helping one another. So I'm coming back, and I'll be rip-roaring and ready to go in September. Unless I get we don't want you back at the college anymore, Dieter.
He might cut you down to the military minute.
The military minute probably would be better show. But, brother, I want to thank you again for all you do. Thanks for coming out today.
Mutual. Thank
Brenda, you know I want to hug, baby. Always. Buddy, that was a brotherly and a sisterly hug. I know he just turned 60, so he might be getting a little self-conscious. Now I told your old man's age. Shame on me. Until the next edition of Military Hour, thank you. Appreciate you. Go out and support a vet. Support your community. And let's make things happen for the good and for the better of where we live. And real quick, here is the Ride to Remember coming up Saturday, the 19th of May, which is also the 75th anniversary of VFW. But this one starts in the morning early. Registration is at 0900, and the wreath laying ceremony is going to be at 10. Kickstand's up at 10:30. Then the wreath laying is going to be at Pier Park Vietnam Memorial, Veterans Memorial, at 1400. That's 2 o'clock for anybody that doesn't know that. And the event is going to be ending at American Legion, Post 375 on Highway 77 in Southport. You can't miss it. Across almost from Tractor Supply. 100% of the proceeds go to support active duty, veteran, and dependent students attending Gulf Coast State College. And we're trying to hit 10 G's, $10,000 on this ride. Mark this ride. Come on out. Thank you, Dr. Susan Ramirez. Oh, I messed it up, told her I would. And she is United States Air Force retired. She is the Director of Military and Veteran Services at Gulf Coast State College. And I want to personally thank Dr. Goins, Professor Scott Kirkman, also Adjunct Professor Tom Hoots, Brandon Smith, and Caleb, who puts this thing together for your benefit, other than my voice. Thanks. We're out.